A bit of a mending job needed on my dog, I'm afraid. His teeth seem to have fallen out, but it's easily fixed. And it put me in mind of a piece I wrote for him a couple of years ago about equality and diversity, and I'd like to share it with you. And as if by magic, here it is.
Ah, hello. Please, excuse me, but I feel I just have to say a word about my breed. You see, people think we're all the same. Vicious, aggressive, untrustworthy. I mean, some of the looks I get when I'm out. Really? People seem to think I'm going to kick off and bite someone at the drop of a hat. Just because of the actions of a minority of violent idiots. People think we're all the same. We are not. We see these terrible images on TV and on the internet. Some half-wit bites a child on the other side of the world, and we get the blame for it here. But that's not what we're actually like. We're loyal and friendly and affectionate. We're actually just the same as humans. We only hate if we're brought up to hate. I ask you, kittens don't seem to have these problems, do they? Everyone thinks they're very cute. Ugh.
It's not nice to be judged, is it? I wonder if you've ever been misjudged because of your age or the way you look or the way that you speak. It's really not nice at all for someone to judge us before they get to know us. And I think as you go through college life, you're probably going to meet a lot of people from very different backgrounds. And I think it's really important to be open and not be judgmental of anyone. It's not advisable to build in a good social space and a social community, but it's also illegal to treat people differently because of their faith or their age or their sexuality and all the other things that come under the Equality Act and the codes of behaviour that your college will expect from you.
Ugh.
And to be judged is the name of the next piece I'd like to share with you. I was asked to interview a Muslim guy in Batley in West Yorkshire, and I was told before I got there that he was a poet. And I was thinking, a Muslim poet? I've never met one of those before, and maybe I had a bit of unconscious bias about thinking they shouldn't do poetry or they're not allowed to do poetry. Of course, it's ridiculous. So I met Mohammed Salou, and I thought I'd like to share his wonderful poem, To Be Judged, with you.
I ask thee to judge not by my skin, nor by the faith I hold within. I ask thee to judge not by my face, my colour, my creed, nor by my race. I ask thee to judge not by my wear, the unfashioned strands of this moment's hair. I ask thee to judge not by my height, nor by the pen, left-handed or right. I ask thee to judge not by my might, sheltering weakness, my privilege right. I ask thee to judge not by my brain, wisdom a saviour to a sanity claim. I ask thee to judge not by my speech, words of wit so out of reach. I ask thee to judge not a foolish past, forgotten memories of a broken cast. I ask thee to judge not by my stand, my views, my opinions, my right as man. I ask thee to judge not by thy sight, by the covering cloud of an unjust light. I ask thee to judge, but answer this true. Did I really ever want to be judged by you?
It was really interesting meeting Muhammad as the first Muslim poet I've ever encountered, I have to admit, and yet another example of getting to know someone and being surprised by their character and challenging some of my own unconscious biases.